Hi there, this is Christina, and I'm very pleased today to introduce this indicator to you guys. And this is the indicator that we designed for multiple time frame traders, meaning it is most likely to be found useful for those traders who, when they make their trading decisions, they like to make their trading decisions based on the conditions across the board with multiple time frame. Conditions, I mean either conditions on price or conditions based on indicators. Because I am a programmer and I know this for a fact that there's a large percentage of traders who are trading multiple time frame. That is their trading style. And if this is a trading style you have, and let's take a look at what these indicators can do for you and make your life easier. When I was designing and programming this indicator, of course, I wanted to make it as flexible as possible so it can fit the needs of many people, many traders. And here's what I have done. First of all, because we're talking about multiple time frame, so first of all, user can configure what time frame you want to display, and you can choose from all the available time frames. Okay, so when you open this one chart, you can possibly see what's happening with other time frames. Okay, that's the first thing. And then you can configure what currency pair you want to display. And on this chart, I have attached the same indicator 3 times. If I look at here, I have attached this indicator 3 times because I wanted to display the charts for 3 different symbols. So this indicator actually is designed to display only one symbol. However, as you can see, to display what symbol is user defined. So it doesn't matter which chart you attach the indicator to, you can choose what symbol you want to display. The reason I only choose to do it with one symbol because this way for different symbols, you can attach to the same chart, but you can configure it different way to display whatever you want. You can see these 3 charts certainly displayed 3 different things. And there's a range of many other things you can configure differently for each symbol. Okay, so that symbol you can choose what to display, and also you can choose to display how many bars you want to display for each chart. And this is the most important because I have seen similar indicators that display price chart for other time frames, but if I remember it correctly, none of them actually display the indicator values and status. And in this case, we can display several standard indicators and together with the price chart, so you can see at a glance what's happening with the indicator. Obviously, these indicators can be customized and can be even customer indicators, but for this current stage, I'm designing this to suit most people. I'm using the indicators I consider to be used by most people. We can talk about those details later on. So now let's take a look at what you can set for this indicator. This is MultiCharts external inputs. External input, we have 2 major settings. One is display settings, and the next from here is our indicator settings. For the display settings, the first is display symbol, and here's something you want to input, whatever symbol you want to put in. And now I am using this one. This one, if you leave this blank, that means you're going to display the current chart symbol. I'm attaching this to EURUSD, so this is by default is EURUSD if this is left as blank. But if I wanted to display GBPUSD, and this you must type in GBPUSD, and there's only one symbol allowed, so That's why I attach this indicator 3 times to display this different symbols. And here, display time frame. Remember, the key purpose of this indicator is to display multiple time frame. And here, you must type in what time frame you want. It doesn't have to be all 9 time frames. You can choose what you want. You can even display part of it. For example, by default, I'm choosing 5, 15, 30, and 60. If you wanted to display multiple time frames, you need to input here at least 1 time frame. And if there's multiple, they're separated by comma. You must write with this format. For example, you shouldn't have space in there and shouldn't use any other things other than comma, because I have hard-coded to only recognize it this way. So, and here we have bar count. Bar count means how many bars for each time frame I wanted to display. And if you want to display a certain number of bars, for example 30, let's say 50. If you want to display a certain number of bars, 50, that will, for each time frame, it will display 50 bars. And you can see here, EURUSD, 60 means the time frame, 30 means the time frame. And here, the first figure here shows how many bars you're displaying. Okay, 50 bars. And this is the number, is the range of the last, in this case, is 50 bars. And basically, you can see right there for the EURUSD 60-minute chart, the last 50 bars, the range is 67.4 pips. And for each time frame, we're displaying that. And this is whenever you either, if you move this and this won't change, okay? If you do this, see, it won't change. However, you just noticed, and these has changed. And they have changed to expand or contract the number of bars to just fit the screen. For example, right now I have 64 bars because this is the first bar, this is the last bar I can see. If I do this, and now because this is wider, and the next tick, and it's going to right now I haven't adjusted because right now market is very slow and there's no new bid. Anyway, see, this is next tick. It's going to change it to 80 to just adjust to as wide as possible for the current screen. And you notice here there's no adjustment because I have specified to be 50 bars. And for this, the second indicator, and this is how I set it. Now let's look at the second one. We're setting to display GBP USD, and here bar count, I'm setting it to 0. 0 means it will fit the current screen. Okay, so now here candle display mode, and here you have choice between 1 and 2 and 3. And here, this is basically shows how we wanted to display the candles. And now I have 3 colors for you to choose: wick color, bowl candle color, bear candle color, and then body thickness. Okay, so here, first let's take a look at the candle display mode. This one is the candle display mode number 1, which only shows the wick. Wick means this basically shows high and low without showing the body. And this is candle display mode number 1. And candle display mode number 2, which is this. Let me see. I kind of... oh, okay, sorry. This is candle display number 3. Candle display number 2 is here. only this display body. And the reason I have all these different modes is because different traders look at the chart. They wanted to use different data. And this is to only display high-low, which is wick. And this is only to display the body, yeah, which is high and low. Obviously, blue indicating bullish bar, and orange indicating the bearish bar. And here, of course, you can adjust the color, okay? And then here we have body thickness. So you can thicken the body if you want, depending on the scale of your chart, obviously. And this is the candle display mode number 3, which is display wick and body at the same time. This is basically a candlestick display. And so the numbers of bars is useful because it gives you a glance, like last 50 bars for 30 minutes, the range of the last 50 bars, right? And here, this 80 is we got this 80 based on the total number of bars on chart, obviously. And here also display the overall range. Although, because we're displaying all these chart. Let's use this one first. We're scaling the entire price on the scale of 0 to 100. So for 5-minute chart, 17.6 pip is done from 0 to 100. And for this, 28.8 pip was drawn from 0 to 100. Obviously, for each scale from, let's say, 10, for each interval, which means 10, on this scale, it means different number of pips. So we cannot possibly display the real price for this. So the purpose for this is only to display the relationship between price movement, not the exact price. Okay, so this is the price display, and we'll talk about indicators later on. And all these, obviously, even they are scaled. So for example, 10 here meaning different pips in here. However, all the indicator displaying is all to the same style, the same scale, so you can easily see what's going on with the indicators relative to the price. Now this is the part that is a little bit unique for this indicator, because most other similar indicator does not display indicator here. So that's all for the price. And the last is indicator thickness. So you can choose how thick the indicator display is. Okay, and indicator colors is by default is already defined here. Of course, you can change that again. And then the last is update real tick. If you wanted to save the computer resource, and especially if you are the kind of trader who only trade at the close of the bar, you can probably set this to false. If this set to false, it only updates once every new bar for the smallest time frame here. In this case, you see here 5, 15, 30, 60. The smallest is 5. If this is false, it only updates every 5-minute bar starts. Only update all these chart once for every 5 minutes. If my smallest time frame is 15, it will only update every 15 minutes. So if for you the current bar reading is not important to you, then use this, okay? But when this is true, this chart is updated real tick every tick. Now here, let's take a look what other indicators that's possible we can display. First is moving average. Second is parabolic SAR. And for moving average, I have the possibility to display two moving averages, because two moving average cross is very important to a lot of traders. Okay, that's a classic, most classic strategy. So we are displaying two moving averages, and this is parabolic SAR, this is Bollinger Band, and this is RSI, and this is stochastics, and those are the default indicators. It is possible that we add or we replace some of the indicator with other indicators, or we even add some custom indicators, but those are for individual basis, and this one is for general uses, and those are the indicators I choose to display for now. And there's one rule, universal rule for displaying those indicators. You can see here, I've attached this indicator 3 times. Obviously, I'm displaying some indicator on each chart. So you don't have to choose to display all of them. And one rule for displaying is, if you set the first variable for this indicator, regardless what it is. So for stochastics, this is the first. For RSI, this is the first. If you make this variable to be 0, that means you do not want to display. So if you look at my settings here, I'm not displaying moving averages, not display. I'm only displaying RSI here. As you can see, here is only one line for RSI. Okay, so for those we can display for moving average. Fast moving average period, if set to 0, that means not to display. Slow moving average period set to 0 means not to display. Okay, if you set it to not 0, it will display. For example, here, this is displaying fast moving average, default is red. This is displaying fast moving average, default is red. And we also have the choice to choose the fast moving average type and shift. This is for slow moving average. You can choose to display, and default is green here. Same period, type, and shift. And for parabolic SAR, we're displaying here. Default is yellow. And see here on this chart, I'm not displaying. That's why I set it to 0. But if you want to display, set it to something other than 0. This is how it appears. And for Bollinger Band, this Bollinger Band, if you only set this to not to draw Bollinger Bands, default it will draw the upper and lower in this color. It will not draw the center line. So to be able to get a look at what I'm giving here, you need to display Bollinger Bands as well as one of the moving average, because the center of the Bollinger Band is a moving average to begin with. So that's how it's being displayed. For Bollinger Bands, we have band period, band shift, band deviation, and band applied price. And that's to determine these two Bollinger Band channels. And those 1, 2, 3, the first 4 indicators have one thing in common, because their default is based on price. So they should appear on the price chart. So here you are able to see the relationships between the indicator readings and the price. But again, because they're all scaled from 0 to 100, you cannot really tell the exact value of this. Okay, like we said, we are scaling 4 different charts, all from 0 to 100, but then the range of this means different, 18.2 versus 90.7. Okay, however, the last 2 indicators, which is RSI and stochastic, they are a little bit different, and these two they have a range between 0 to 100 by themselves, and they're in the independent window, and it has nothing to do with price, and their value always range between 0 to 100. In this case, the way we have displayed and For example, if this line is at 70 level, it is its real reading. For example, on this chart, I'm displaying RSI, period and price, stochastic, KD slowing, and here I'm not displaying. Let's just make this 5. RSI by default is pink, stochastic is yellow. So these are just two indicators joined in this one window, and these are the real reading. There's no need for scaling because their readings is between 0 to 100 again. But in this case, if the price chart is displayed was scaled to this. I think I've explained this clearly already.